Hi there and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be talking about grief. I am going to try to keep this video brief and to the point. I'm going to try to be systematic about it, but a lot of times when I start talking, I easily get off topic. I think it's part of my ADHD. In fact, I know it probably is. Um, but grief in general, I feel like none of us escape grief. We all experience it in some way, shape, or form in various parts of our life. Grief is part of the human experience. Grief is the cost of attachment. There's no way to dress it up. Grief just sucks. There's really no other way to put it. Now, grief can come from many different things. It can come from job loss. Maybe you've worked at the same company for the last 10 years. You've put your blood, sweat, and tears into this job. You've worked many late nights. Maybe you put in a lot of 12-hour days. And by the time you get home, you're just exhausted from a long workday. And after 10 years, you unexpectedly get laid off because, well, your company viewed you as nothing more than a production unit. And the world that you thought you knew within your work environment is now all rewritten, and you are left to pick up the pieces and find another job. Grief can also be caused by unexpected death in the family. Evolutionarily speaking, our minds are not geared or equipped to deal with sudden and abrupt loss. And so our bodies automatically go into a denial phase. It's basically a way for our nervous systems to protect itself, to prevent a psychological break. During this denial phase, you're at this place where you don't want to accept the fact that someone close to you has passed away. Maybe you're going to tell yourself stories and try to rewrite the current circumstances. But no matter what you do, think, or say, nothing is going to bring that family member back. And I think that's one of the toughest things about grief is the finality of it. You're also going to go through an anger phase. And there's no telling how long this phase is going to last. It's a little different for everyone. But maybe you're mad at God. You try to bargain with God. You have conversations with God. And you say to God, why did you have to take my loved one? They were near and dear to my heart. They were a good person. They didn't deserve to die. And you have this anger within you that you feel like you need to place somewhere. And this anger phase is necessary. It's an emotion that we have to experience and go through. And I think it's important to make this emotion and this stage useful. And it only becomes useful if you get through it and you can eventually accept the reality of losing a loved one. And then there's the acceptance phase. This is when your nervous system stops fighting and accepts reality. Now, it takes time to get to this phase. Like I was alluding to earlier in this video, there's a range of emotions that you have to go through, not in any particular order, but these are stages that you have to go through on your own terms before you can finally accept reality. Now, once you go through the denial, the bargaining, the anger, the depression, you are going to enter the acceptance phase. Now, this is when your nervous system stops fighting and accepts reality for what it is, no matter how much you disagree with it. Now, it doesn't matter what order of emotions you go through. You're going to experience them as you experience them. It's not going to be in any particular order. And, two different people might go through emotions at different periods. Some people might get to the anger before the other person does. And so I just think it's important to know that there's not necessarily a time frame or order in which you have to go through these emotions. For me personally, the most difficult part about grief, as I alluded to very briefly earlier on in the video, is the finality of it. Once you lose a loved one, no matter what you do, there's no bringing them back. And all you're left with is the memories you have with them. And I think it can be such a helpless feeling to live with. And so I think it's really important to not go through it alone. It's very important to have a support system. Um, and usually that's family or close friends. And there's no prize for doing it all alone. We're not meant to grieve alone. We're meant to grieve with people that we love. Um, but the reality is, this is just a fact of life. We are going to lose people that we love and care about. Nothing is permanent, everything is temporary. Another thought I have is once we have a family member that passes away, whatever bit of dependency we had on them, once they pass away, that dependency becomes highlighted. For example, say you always look to your father for life advice, and he was always there to sit with you and talk you through life situations and give you good advice. And once he passes away, um, you can no longer lean on him for life advice. All you have are the memories of conversations you had with your father. And so when you no longer have that, it kind of rewires your brain, and you really have to become your own person and move forward. So, I guess to sum up this conversation, grief sucks to go through, and there's no fast forward button, there's no easy mode. It is what it is, and all you can do is go through it the best way that you can. And as far as the emotions that I was talking about earlier that you will go through at various stages, remember you don't have to go through them in any particular order. You can go through them in a way that the emotions come to you. Do what's right for you. And remember, there is really no timeline. And don't grieve alone. Make sure you have a support system, whether that's family or friends. And if you don't have that, I think it's important to go see a therapist so that you can talk about your grieving, so that you can process your emotions properly. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about this. Um, I think that's about it as far as what I have to say about grief. Um, my hair is getting quite messy. I will be getting a haircut this evening. You may be saying, well, that's not that long, but I'll tell you what, for the last 6 years, since the pandemic started in 2020, I've been giving myself crew cuts every single month. So when I go for a haircut this evening, this will be my first haircut in about 6 years. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that. It's not a lot of fun cutting your own hair. If you're new to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Until the next chat, have a good one.